Authentication is the process by which your app's users sign up or sign into your app. The authentication process confirms the legitimacy of a user's identity before allowing them to interact with the application. Thunkable supports authentication through a variety of third parties. In this tutorial, we'll focus specifically on Google. You will need to have a Google Cloud account and connect it to your Thunkable project. We've already taken care of that for the project we'll be working on in this tutorial. Here, on this first screen, we'll give our users the option of how they'd like to access our app. The flow to connect with email has already been built. Together, we'll add the ability for users to sign in with their Google account. We'll start by adding a button for Google. Rather than start from scratch, we'll use copy and paste keyboard shortcuts to duplicate this existing button. We want to adhere to Google's brand guidelines, so we'll be adding the Google logo to our button and changing the button's background and text colors. Let's add an image component for the logo. We can resize it by dragging the corners or adjusting the height and width settings in the Properties panel. Click in the picture field and upload a new image file or choose from the previously uploaded images. And we don't want to stretch the logo, so we'll select Contain as the picture resize mode. We'll ensure we change the image's name before moving on to modify the button. We'll change the button's text color, and background color. In addition, we'll add a border to our button. Lastly, we'll rename the button to keep our project organized. Now let's build out the blocks. We'll start by initializing a stored variable for the selected authentication method. Click Variables, drag the initialize variable block, and drop it in the workspace. Use the drop-down menu to select stored variable and give the variable a unique name. Now that the variable is initialized, we'll be able to define it based on which button the user clicks, Google or email. If they click Connect with Email, the stored variable, auth method, is set to email. If they click Connect with Google, the stored variable, auth method, is set to Google. We'll come back to this block in a moment. Click the Google button's name in the component tree and drag the When button click block into the workspace. Nest the set stored variable auth method to Google block within. Then, under App Features, click Sign In, drag the Get Profile from Google block, and drop it within the When button click block. The mint green blocks represent the available outputs provided by the Google sign-in process. You can save this information to personalize the user's experience within your app, display their profile picture, greet them by name, or pre-fill form fields with their email address, for example. User ID is a unique identifier assigned to the authenticated user by Google. It is typically a long string of characters that is unique to each user. Let's save the user ID as a variable to use within our app. We'll do this exactly the same way we did a moment ago when we initialized the auth method stored variable. Now that the variable is initialized, we'll be able to save a Google sign-in block's output to it. We'll do that in a moment. You can repeat this flow to initialize as many variables as you think will be useful as you continue to build your app. Display name is typically the user's full name, including their first name and last name, as it appears in their Google account profile. Given name is the user's first name, family name is their last name, and email address is, well, their email address. We'll initialize another stored variable for the given name so we can use that profile information in our app. If the user has uploaded a Google profile photo image URL provides a URL of that photo. Lastly, if the sign-in process encounters an error, Google provides an error message with details about what went wrong. If there's an error with signing the user up, we will display the error message in the screen's error label. The Else section indicates the actions we want the app to take if there isn't an error. If the Google sign-in is successful, we'll set the stored variables as the Google sign-in block's outputs. Click Variables, drag the set variable to block, and drop it in the Else section. Drag the corresponding mint green output block and connect it to the set variable to block. Copy and paste the set variable to block, place it under the other one, use the drop-down menu to select the other stored variable, and then drag the corresponding mint green output block and connect it. Lastly, when the Google sign-in is successful, we want to navigate the user into the app. So we've completed the sign-in flow if a user clicks the Google button, but what if they were to click the Google logo instead? We need to duplicate this block combination to account for that. With the sign-in flow complete, let's build the sign-out flow. This app already has a sign-out button that was used for email sign-out. We can configure it for Google sign-out as well. Pull out the Firebase sign-out block for the time being. We'll add it back in at the end. As we said, we'll use the same sign-out button regardless of which authentication method the user selected. So we'll add an if-do-else block to apply some conditions. This is where the auth method stored variable we set earlier comes into play. If the stored variable, auth method, is set to Google, we need to sign the user out of this account using Google. In the sign-in drawer of blocks, grab the sign out from Google block and drop it in the do space. Click Control, drag an if-do-else block and add it to the sign out from Google block. Drag the error output block and drop it next to if. Click the error label's name in the component tree. Drag the set labels text to block and drop it next to do. Drag another error output block and connect it to the set labels text to block. If there is no error and the sign-out request is successful, we'll do two things. First, we'll set the stored auth method variable to null. Then, we'll navigate the user back to the Connect with screen. Let's drop the Firebase sign-out block back into our sign-out button block combination. This facilitates the sign-out flow for users who are signed in with their email address, not Google. For more on user sign-up and sign-in with email, check out our linked Firebase authentication resources. Lastly, we'll duplicate the setStoredAuth method variable to null block and add it to the Firebase sign-out block. Okay, let's check it out. To test the Google authentication flow, you'll need to either download or publish your app and have a Google account. We've downloaded the app to our device. The user can select the account they want to sign in with or enter the email address for a different account. This user is already logged into a Google app with this account on the device, so they've been signed in. If a user isn't signed into a Google app, they will be required to provide their password. And let's test the sign-out flow as well. And just like that, we've configured authentication through Google, and our app's users can sign into and out of the app. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more great content. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, innovation should have no limits.